Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today we're going to be finding out the differences between the mass market edition and the first edition of the Tarot of the Unexplained. Now, this mass market edition just came out a few weeks ago. It's available anywhere that you can buy or purchase tarot decks at, like I said, mass market, and it has this fantastic box. That alone makes it a little bit better than the first edition, in my opinion, because this is just one of those like bags, and the bags you can't really trust to keep everything safe. That's why I actually keep mine in this little glass box right here. I just painted it purple. I got it at Michael's a while back. And you can see it like opens. I should probably do something with the top, or with the inside, but I haven't. But little glass box to keep the deck, the first edition, safe. But this, is much better. You can like take it with you. You don't have to worry about it as much. And look, you can see even this X right there. It's metallic. It's really cool. And you've got the name right there. You've got the information on the back, and I'll go ahead and read that for you. It says, "This is a deck that embraces the diversity and weirdness of the 21st century. The U.S. Navy now admits that UFOs exist, ghost hunters abound, and experts in the paranormal and quantum physics fields are arriving at the same conclusion. All of these seemingly disparate phenomena are related. Tarot of the Unexplained was conceived and designed to represent the most commonly seen and experienced yet unexplained phenomena, aberrations, Fortean events, and cryptids. These modern concerns are represented in the suits. Wands, swords, cups, and pentacles, becoming the knocking sticks of Sasquatch, ghosts, portals, and flying saucers. Among the major arcana, you'll recognize familiar archetypes: La Lorna, the ghost hunter, the remote viewer, injured cold, and the Anukai, and the Flatwoods Monster. So a lot of these, like Flatwoods Monster right there, that is in my state of West Virginia. That's down in Flatwoods, West Virginia. And it's like an alien. And it's in here. The Mothman is in here. There's so many different cryptids and everything that's just in this deck. And it is incredible. That's why I have the first edition of it. Because I was so excited when I saw this deck was available. Now, the first edition has its own unboxing video already on my page. You can find that, or I can leave a link in the description below to make it easier for you if you want to watch that. But today we're just going to see the differences here. Why you might not care that you missed the first edition, and why you should totally purchase the mass market edition if you want to embrace your weirdness and know that you're not alone. Because, weird and proud, that's how I feel. The Mothman and the Silver Bridge are right there on the front, so that's a really awesome little touch that they did for the box. You can see there's the side, you got the flying saucer, you have the cows, the flying saucer is going to turn inside out. Gross, but I think that's what happens. And then on this side, you've got more flying saucers and red wheel down here. I think that is that's the people that created this deck, or, funded this deck. Dave Zilla, that is the author and creator of this deck, so that is right there. I'm going to go ahead and take the first edition, out of the bag like that. And you see there's no guidebook or anything with this deck. You go for it. And if you do, you don't know who the people are and stuff, then you can do what I did for the longest time. Follow him on Instagram. I'll put that information in the link description below, and you can see his posts and stuff, and he tells you the different things about the cards, when he created them and stuff. So there is no guidebook or anything like that, but you do have these two little extra cards right here, and one is about the deck. And you see right there, it tells you the different suits that they change. Like swords are now ghosts, wands are now knockers, cups are now portals, and pentacles are saucers. So you have that information there that can help you. And then down there is his website that you can find spreads and stuff at. And there's all of his thank yous and acknowledgments. And he says, "You rock my world. I cannot thank you enough." So these are the people that inspired him to create this deck. So this is the first edition. I'm going to turn it right over there. So we have the Ghost Stalker. We're going to get this baby open and see how different the cards are together. So I'm going to set the guidebook, or not the guidebook, the box up here. Guidebook was on top, so it made me think of that. Got it there. Take this little plastic sleeve off. There we go. And there we have already the first difference. And quality of the cards, I even think that the mass market feels a lot thicker and sturdier than maybe the first edition. And of course, the thing that is the coolest part of this to me that I have been waiting so long for, it's this. It's the guidebook for the Tarot of the Unexplained. Yes, you've got the information about the cards. You can use this if you're like, I don't know what this means. So that definitely can be of assistance right there. And it's very detailed, very colored and everything. So awesome little touch to the mass market edition versus the first edition is the guidebook right there. So I'm going to set that aside too. We're going to get to these cards, okay? Set him over here. Set this one right there. And we can set the cards 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. You get it. Okay, Ghost Stalker, very first one that represents the full, or is the full in the other decks. And you can see they're vastly different. This one right here, the mass market, I just think it's so much more beautiful, so much more creative. Like, the girl in the illustration, she's gonna go after her dreams. She's a fool for what she loves. In this case, she's the stalker. Like, she stalks ghosts. She wants to go see them. She wants to find them. So she's going after it. This guy, he's in the gray. So he's kind of like more kind of in behind the scenes and stuff. So maybe he's not as passionate about it. I'm not sure, but there's definitely a vast difference with these two cards. We set them like that. You can see the backs there. They're very, very similar. But there is a subtle difference. Like, the mass market is a little bit darker than the first edition one. So that's something unique right there. But, you know, you're not really going to notice that all that much. But I'm going to set them like that so I don't get them confused. Remote viewer, very similar to each other. I don't think there's much of a difference. This one seems to be a little bit, like, brighter, it seems, but you know, the company that funded this deck probably had a lot more money to do so than the company that funded this deck, because as far as I know, this is the only Kickstarter that I've ever backed that didn't get funded. So I'm pretty sure Dave Zilla actually funded this himself. Like, he actually like put his own money in to get this deck. So it's definitely like worth buying. It's beautiful and everything, but maybe it's not as high of quality as the mass market. So that is the remote viewer. The Bell Witch is next. Now, I have noticed something else here, too. On the mass market, right over here, it says 02. Yet on the first edition, it's just a 2. And there's a line right here, whereas over here, it's that weird little... I don't even know what this little symbol's called. I use it all the time, but I don't, like, I'm just going to call it a wiggly. If you know what it's called, let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious now. So that is the Bell Witch replacing the High Priestess. La Lorna replaces the Empress, and you've got those two illustrations right there. We've got Indrid Cold as the Emperor. He's definitely a creepy looking fella right there, isn't he? You got that illustration, and you see very much similar right there. The Jackalope is next. You've got those illustrations right there, and the Jackalope replaces the Hierophant in this deck. Very similar to each other. I just noticed down here in the corner, I haven't noticed that in the other illustrations, but right there it actually has his name, Dave Zilla, in the first edition. It does not have it over here in this one. So the Jackalope is the Hierophant in this deck. The Puka is the Lovers, so we have that illustration with the symbol. I want to say that's the symbol for Gemini, but I could be very wrong on that. So guidebook, maybe it's in there, definitely useful. So you got the Puka right there, a 6, and the Lovers. Nama ship, I might not be pronouncing that correctly. If not, I apologize. We have that illustration as the Chariot. So, you know, a ship, definitely, that is something that, you know, will get us to our destination in space if we want to go there. So that is that illustration. Here is a difference in the decks. Definitely completely different illustrations. I'm not sure if Redemption is Strength or Justice in this deck, because, you know, Strength and Justice kind of are interchangeable. I feel like there's maybe not enough room here to do this. There we go. Redemption on the mass market is this guy right here. So he's got that creepiness going up there on top of him, the eyes and everything. And Redemption in this one has the flying saucer. So those are very different. So there's a major difference there. Yeti is the Hermit. And definitely like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, all of those characters. Definitely feels like they get a lot of alone time, a lot of time in solitude. So those are those illustrations right there. The Hoop Snake. The Hoop Snake replaces the Wheel of Fortune in this deck. And you've got that one right there that looks like the Arboros, you know, the snake biting its tail that says life is never ending and reincarnation, all that good jazz. So you have those illustrations. The Thunderbird is Justice or Strength, depending on which one that is in this deck. That's why I just kind of like put the messages of those cards together. Like Strength, you have to be fair to yourself in order to find that internal strength. And when you find that balance and that fairness within, well, you're strong stronger than you were before. So they really are interchangeable. Then we have these illustrations right here with the Thunderbird, like I said. This one has an infinity sign with it, while this one doesn't. So that is a little difference right there. Next up, we have the Hanged Man or Extraction. They are pretty much identical right there, those illustrations. I think like the little stars in the background might be a little bit brighter on this one than they were on the other one. But those are those illustrations. The Wendigo is death, and we have those illustrations. Kind of creepy right there, very similar to each other. I don't see many differences there. For some reason, I think the first edition, he's got a creepier face, maybe? But beautiful illustrations. I love the purple and everything. Loch Ness Monster replaces Temperance in this deck. They want to slide all over. This is going to get difficult, isn't it? Loch Ness Monster, like I said, Temperance, and you've got these illustrations. Very similar to each other again. Maybe a little more sparkly on the mass market, but beautiful. Again, the purple and the teal and everything. Beautiful illustrations. Nain Rogue is next, and he would be the devil in this deck, and it's like he's actually talking to the devil. That temptation that the devil brings. So those are those illustrations right there. The Silver Bridge. The Silver Bridge is the Mothman, is the tower in this deck, and it really occurred. And the Mothman was the one that like predicted it, they say. And you can see him right up there above it, you know, as it falls. And I've seen pictures, and I assume like they're absolutely manipulated. They're not real. They have to be fake because they look too good. And this was like, oh, was it 1950s or 1960s? So maybe not real, but still such an awesome story. And those are very similar cards, but just beautiful nonetheless. It's like one of my favorite cards of this entire deck, and my favorite tower card ever, because it's the real deal. Like, this really occurred, and it's just awesome. So there is the Silver Bridge. Awesome. When I say awesome, I mean that it's in the tarot deck. That's why I wanted this deck so much. So I don't mean it's awesome that it actually collapsed, don't get me wrong, but the awesome that it's actually included in the deck. Sirius replaces the star in this deck, and you have those illustrations again, very similar to each other. Flatwoods Monster, like I said, when I read the back, they talked about the Flatwoods Monster, and this is pretty much what he looked like, or she looked like, or it looked like, definitely. Because in Flatwoods, I've been there multiple times in my life, and they actually have like pictures of them. I think they even have chairs that you can like sit in the chair, like the Mothman or Flatwoods Monster chair. So that is a cool little touch right there, that is in the deck. And this would be the moon, because the star was like right there. So the moon is the Flatwoods Monster in this deck. The Anakai are the sun. We have those illustrations again. Pretty much same exact illustration right there, a little bit brighter in the mass market. And we've got the Men in Black as Judgment. Those illustrations right there. Again, very similar, but still cool. I kind of like that it's like you're seeing double with this. This is fun. So you've got those illustrations for Judgment. You know, Men in Black are definitely the ones, they judge you for thinking that you see things. At least that's what I think of when I see it. I think the Men in Black actually came for the Mothman when that happened in the 50s or 60s. Hollow Earth is the world in this deck, and the Hollow Earth on the mass market just seems to be more vivid than the Hollow Earth on this one, but very interesting illustrations right there. And then we get on to the Minor Arcana. Now, I did set up because I've used my first edition quite a lot, so it's all shuffled and mixed up. So I actually went through and I tried to put them in order, so they might not be completely right. But there you can see Ace of Knockers, very much the same in both decks. There's Sasquatch running with his knocker. Knockers equal wands in this deck. I think we figured that out though. And plus I mentioned it earlier. Two of knockers right there. You've got those illustrations. They're very, very similar to each other. Three of knockers, my favorite card of the entire deck, because it says wave that freak flag high so everybody can see it and inspire others to do the same. So there is that three of knockers, and it's the same illustration right there. Four of knockers. You've got the creepy little eyes in the back, and they're definitely more noticeable in this one than they are this one. You've got the four wands right there, the stars in the background and everything. So if you know your constellations and stuff, this deck is way cooler than maybe you would have originally had. So you've got those illustrations right there. Five of knockers, five knockers on this one. You know, you've got the of over here, you've got the line over here. So that's that. Those illustrations, very very much the same. He seems to have more detail in the first edition than he does in the mass market. 6 knockers, or 6 of knockers, is next. Card of celebrating our what we've succeeded at, our passions, no matter how small they might be, our victories, no matter how small they might be, and those are the illustrations right there. 7 of knockers, or 7 line knockers, and we have those illustrations right there. Again, very similar. The minor arcana might be, actually, as soon as I went to say the minor arcana might all be the same. There, you got the 8 of wands, or 8 of knockers, and very, very different. See, that one's actually running after someone, that one's just standing there, so kudos to that one. That one shows like the actual action that kind of leads you to success. So that one's really cool. 9 knockers, or 9 of knockers. It's pretty much the same illustration again. It kind of almost goes together. Like, see, if you put that tree kind of together, it looks like it could be part of it. I can't stop shaking right there. There. Yeah, see how they kind of almost go together? That is cool. So we have those illustrations right there. The 10 of wands, 10 of knockers, 10 line knockers. We have those illustrations. They're pretty much the same. Fan of knockers replaces the page of knockers in this deck. So you've got that one over here and that one over here. They're pretty much the same, just maybe more purplish in this one than this one, because that was more periwinkle. So those are awesome. Hunter of knockers replaces the knight of knockers, and you have those illustrations. Again, the purple is more vivid in the mass market versus the first edition, but both very interesting and very similar to each other. See, I told you I was gonna get like messed up. I've got the advocate of knockers. What'd I do? Yeah, I've gotten like backwards. So we're just gonna kind of keep going. Okay, that threw me for a loop for a minute. I paused the video. I figured it out. This is why it confused me so much, because this is the same card, but it's very, very, very different. This advocate of knockers, awesome, awesome little outfit he has on. He's got Bigfoot written on his sleeve and everything. And this one has the Bigfoot in his, like, in the mold and everything. But both of them, you know, they're the Queen of Wands in this deck, and definitely like show that energy, that passion to go after, you know, finding Bigfoot. So they're different. That's what confused me so badly. We're going to keep going. I got him kind of messed up right there. Yeah, there. And then we turn over and we have the skeptics. Ha! Confusing for a minute doing this kind of thing. But Skeptic of Knockers is the King of Wands in this deck, and you see the Bigfoot's walking away in this illustration. So he's like, he's found it. He's achieved his goal, and now he has all the stories to tell about it. So there is the Skeptic of Knockers. Let's see. I turned this one over and it shouldn't have been over. There we go. Back to normal. Moving on, we are on the Suit of Cups now, known in this deck as Portals. So there is the Ace of Portals, very much the same illustration. The Two of Portals. Now, I'm not necessarily a fan of this like so much. It's kind of pippish, but still, you can read with it and everything. You know, there's 2 of them now. So fulfilling partnerships. That's the Two of Portals. 3 of Portals, celebrating with friends and everything, and now there's 3 portals, and they're definitely celebrating. Now, the mass market one seems to be not as vivid as the first edition. Like, the blue in this one is much prettier. So that is that illustration. The 4 of Portals has become a box, because it's a strong foundation, even though it's kind of boring, because that is the 4 of Cups, or the 4 of Portals is, you know, boring. No, not having that much to enjoy. Been there, seen that, or been there, done that. So that is that illustration there. The 5 of Portals, crying over spilt milk, as I call it, 5 of Cups. You have that illustration. Doesn't really give you that energy to it, but there's so much going on, you know. Maybe that's what's causing you to feel sad. 6 of Portals shows 6 portals instead. Again, like I said, very pippish in that, but the illustrations are very similar, very much the same in that one. The 7 of Portals, it has become a star, so there is the star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it seems, pointed star, so that is beautiful there. They're sticking. There we go. So I was like, one has 8, one has 9. No. Okay, there's the 8 of Portals, the 8 of Cups, and you have those illustrations, you know. Go into that. That's what that screams to me. Like, this portal shows that new beginning, like when you leave behind what no longer serves you. So you're walking away from that to find success. So that is the 8 of Portals. The 9 of Portals, is that a 9-pointed star? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, that is a 9-pointed star. So we have those illustrations. And then 10 are 10 little portals with one big portal on the top. happy family, because it's all a family of portals. So that's that illustration. Fan of Portals is next, which replaces the Page of Cups, and you have that illustration of the character like holding her arm out for the other character. So we've got those. I'm gonna set those aside, and then you can see, hold on, let me do this one so you can actually see how cool this is, because you've got those arms and they do actually match up, kind of, because it's two different decks. But the Hunter of Portals and the Knight of, or Fan of Portals match up like that. So that is that illustration, but they're very much the same in both decks. The Advocate of Portals is right here, and you have that illustration, very much the same character, the same thing going on in those two. The Skeptic of Portals is next. And I think this is Davezilla's wife, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. So you have that illustration as the Queen of Cups. Makes sense because, you know, she's the loving, compassionate, considerate mother of the tarot. And I know they have two beautiful, happy daughters in their lives, and they're very happy families. So that is awesome right there. And then I seem to have misplaced, I don't know where it is now, or maybe I don't have it. Because it's not in either one, is it? Or I just got them backwards. Advocate would be the king. Skeptic would be the queen. So I just got those a little bit backwards. It's okay. They were backwards in both decks. How weird is that? Ace of Ghosts is next. Ghosts replaces swords in this deck. And they're very much the same illustration right there. There's not much different, but beautiful nonetheless. We have the Two of Ghosts. Those are the aces. These are the twos. Very much the same illustration. You got the cute little ghost there. It kind of looks like the Flatwood monster that we saw, doesn't it? So you got those illustrations. The Three of Ghosts is next. As these piles are getting bigger. Like this is getting more and more difficult. So the Three of Ghosts is there. The Three of Swords. The Four of Swords is next. Very much the same illustration. I'm a huge fan of cemeteries and graveyards. They're so peaceful and just relaxing, for lack of a better word. It's one of my favorite places to just kind of sit and reflect. So that is awesome there. The Four of Swords. I mean, I think rest and reflection. So yeah, you can reflect on the people that have come before us, the people we might not have met. They all had stories to share as well. The Five of Swords is right there, and just look at the detail in these illustrations. I love it. I love the ghostly aspects of them. They're really awesome. Six of Ghosts, or six-line ghosts in the mass market. You have these illustrations right here. The Six of Swords in that deck, and they're walking away. They're finding that time of peace and harmony that they deserve. The Seven of Ghosts, or the Seven of Swords, is next. And you have it right here and right here. Very much the same illustrations. Got those right there. And the Eight of Ghosts is next. So the Eight of Swords, the feeling trapped. You know, if you're in a room like a library and people, books are flying out at you, you might feel trapped, you might feel scared. So there is that illustration. The Nine of Ghosts is actually the card about nightmares, like keeping us awake at night and worrying and anxiety and all that good stuff. And if I saw that in a graveyard, I'd definitely be scared and be having nightmares, I think. So that's that illustration. The Ten of Swords, the card of wanting to lay down, give up, you know, throw in the towel, you know, because too much is going on. That is the Ten of Swords, and you have that illustration there. And she's working her magic. She's got her candle magic book. She's learning, and she's putting all that work in so she can start the next chapter of her story. She can learn from those experiences, pick herself back up, and begin again. So that's that illustration. The Page of Ghosts, or the Page of Swords / Fan of Ghosts in this deck. That illustration right there, very much similar. I think the mass market, the face is just a little bit brighter maybe, so those are those illustrations. Hunter of Ghosts, or Knight of Swords in this deck, and you have those illustrations. Very much the same, but again, like she looks more pale in the mass market in this one. So that is that illustration. The Advocate of Ghosts. Now, I did kind of check out the guidebook on this. The Advocate of Ghosts, I'm 99% sure is Davezilla himself. And I don't know if he did this intentionally or just happened to happen. But he, like the first edition, you see that line right there? That is a glitch. That is a mistake, and that is only available in the mass market, or in the first edition, excuse me. So that is a nice little, like, you know, happy accident, I guess, Easter egg. So that is that illustration and that illustration. Skeptic of Ghosts, it's different. You can see that right there is the mass market edition, whereas that is the Skeptic of Ghosts, or King of Swords, because Davezilla was the Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords is the Skeptic of Ghosts. So you have those illustrations. That's that dude versus that dude, and you can see they're very much different dudes, so that's a different illustration. Next up we have, and final, like last but not least, but Saucer Suits, which is the suit of Pentacles. So we have those illustrations of the cow getting taken off to do all kinds of horrible things to it and put it inside out. Yeah, I don't want to think about it or talk about it. So moving on. Two of Saucers has two cows and being two saucers, so we have those illustrations. The Three of Saucers, more cows, more saucers threatening them. We have those illustrations with the constellation of I don't know what it is on the top of the card right there. So those are similar. Four of Saucers, Four of Pentacles right there. You know, they've got four of them in a line that says, you know, we're gonna save time by like getting all of it at once, and that is a big cow versus like the other ones I've seen. So, you know, take more than one at once. Like take the bigger one. You don't have to do it as often, I guess. But there's the Four of Saucers / Four of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles being down on our luck. And why are they down on their luck? Because there's no cows in this illustration. There's just a dude. And dudes do not weigh, nor do they have as much meat on them as a cow. So that might be why they're down on their luck. Six of Saucers is next, or Six of Pentacles. And you see those illustrations right there. Sharing is caring. So they're all kind of in a line and there's no cows. They're just kind of, you know, sharing their laser with the world. So that's that illustration. Seven of Saucers is next, the Seven of Pentacles. Having patience. Patience is progress, not giving up on our goals. You've got that illustration right there. It's very much the same illustration. The cows are over here, but the guy is like going up. Like, I'm ready for this. I've been patient enough. I'm going to get abducted. Eight of Pentacles is next, and you have those illustrations. They're very much the same illustrations. Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Saucers, nine / line saucers in that one. You've got those illustrations right there. 10 of Saucers is next. You have those illustrations as well. Very similar to each other. Pretty much the same illustration. Fan of Saucers, Page of Pentacles. You have those illustrations right there. Hunter of Saucers. Knight of Pentacles in other decks, and you have those illustrations. And I like the vividness and the bright colors of these. These are really, really pretty. Advocate of Saucers. Ha! They're different. Yay. Advocate would be the Queen of Saucers, and you have those illustrations right there. This guy just creeps me out. I don't know what it is about him. He's the Queen of Pentacles in this, and I would not feel comfortable around this guy at all. His face just seems evil and mean, and his hands are like, I'm gonna get you. But this one, they're interested. They're pointing at it. You know, I welcome you in peace. I welcome you to Earth. So I prefer the mass market in this one, definitely. And then last, but certainly not least, it is the Skeptic of Saucers, also known as the King of Pentacles in this deck, or in other decks. And you have those illustrations right there, which are pretty much exactly the same. So those are the differences between the mass market and first edition of the Tarot of the Unexplained. I don't know if you can still get the first edition available. Like, he might still have copies of it, but I don't know for sure. So, but that is that one. And you don't have to have that FOMO, you know, fear of missing out, that you missed out on the first edition, because, you know, in all honesty, it's not that much better than the mass market one. Like, you've got those little things. They tell you what the different suits are, but they don't tell you what the cards mean. And there's no box. You see that? Like, there's just this little bag that I literally keep my copy in a glass case so nothing bad happens to it. So you've got those cards versus the mass market. Like, and the first editions, they were like twice as much as the mass market anyways. So you can get this one for about $25 on Amazon. But another thing, like, I'd want to point out, but I didn't actually show you this to begin with. Hold on, let me take these out so you can kind of see the backs and see just how more, like, it's just brighter, more popping on this one. But look at the sides of this one. Then look at the sides on the mass market. So even the sides of it, they're gilded edges, they're metallic-y and silver. So that is something unique and cool about the mass market that you don't get with the first edition. So no need to, like, FOMO, fear of missing out, or feel sad that you missed out on the first edition if you did, because the mass market is every bit as good, if not better. Because, like, just that illustration, look how different it is. Look how brighter. You're going on to this new unique path. You're starting something new. So mass market, I definitely think it's worth the money. It's such an awesome, awesome deck. And it comes with the guidebook, and it comes with the box. So you can keep it nice and safe. And right there in the box, too, it says, "We are not alone." So it reminds us that we're not alone, you know? The infinite amount of space. Why would anybody think we were alone? But as always, I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want a reading with this deck or this one, it doesn't matter to me. You can tell me first edition. You can tell me mass market. You could just let me choose myself, or I could use both for that matter. If you're wanting a personal reading with this deck or any of the ones in my collection, then feel free to comment on this video. Message me on either socials. All of the information will be in the bottom, link in the description below, and of course, you can book one on my website too, cosmiccrotarot.com. As always, I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.